Today we're talking about 5 lies that are keeping you from finding your voice. Do you believe one of these? Keep watching. Hi everybody, it's Christy Bowie with the Voice Love Company. Please be sure to like, subscribe, and don't forget to hit the little bell below so you don't miss a single video or when I go live. Need more voice love in your life? I write a love letter to my subscribers every Monday. Get your love letter in the description box below. Now let's get started. Well, I've said it for years. When it comes to your voice, your psychology definitely affects your physiology. Your thoughts are tremendously powerful. What you think about your voice, especially at a subconscious level, can affect the way it sounds. You can actually keep yourself from breathing and producing the sound quality that you really want. Finding the freedom and the power that you're wanting vocally is 80% getting a handle on your thinking and 20% practice over and over and over. I've worked with thousands of people at this point, and almost every person has dealt with some form of limiting beliefs about themselves and their voice. Today, I want to expose 5 lies that my clients have been believing, and perhaps you're believing them as well. Lie number 1. My voice is not worth working on. A lot of times when people find out what I do for a living, they sheepishly tell me their lifelong dream of being a singer or a speaker. They believe that their true calling is bringing a message to the world using their voice, yet they've been shut down completely because they don't believe their voice is worth working on. The deeper dive into that problem is they have tremendous enmity with their inner critic. The inner critic is muttering day and night, telling them how terrible their voice is. For some of these precious people, it can be so relentless and painful that it's just easier to forget about it and not even try. And so over the years, they've associated voice work with pain. Spend money and time on themselves working with a voice coach? Never. They would never even think about that. That's frivolous. And it would be far too embarrassing to try to work on speaking or singing in front of another person. Nobody wants to hear that. So they stuff their message and their ambitions for decades sometimes. And they'll bring their kids in to work with me, but that's for other people. That's for their kids to do, not anything that they should be doing. But yet there's this longing in their hearts to do it. So here's the truth. To counter that lie that your voice is not worth working on. Your inner critic is a liar. The inner critic is simply the brain trying to keep you safe. We've talked about that before. It's not really telling you the whole story. In actuality, when you have a burning message in your heart, it's more important than ever that you take the opportunity to make friends with your inner critic, to talk to your brain, to say, hey, I'm safe right now. This isn't a dangerous situation. And to really start to work on the mental side of the game of singing. Listen, friend, the pull you sense deep in your heart to share your message with the world is your destiny calling. Don't ignore it any longer. Put a silencer on the inner critic and get to work. Lie number 2, I have nothing to say. This one just kills me because it happens all too often that I'll work with someone who is amazing. They're an amazing communicator. They're an amazing singer, but they truly believe they have nothing to say. Instead of showing up and speaking out as their best selves, they take to a life in the shadows. They hide. They become excellent employees or self-serving parents or people who rush to the aid of their friends to help them with their dreams while they just sit on the sidelines and don't really do anything more themselves. Oftentimes, you'll find a person who's so shut down that they don't even know what they want anymore. They've completely forgotten how to be truly themselves. They can't even put into words what they truly feel called to do or say anymore because they've sold out so far to helping other people or to their company or to their kids. The truth to countering the lie that you have nothing to say is, guess what? You actually do have something to say. We all do. And not only that, it's what I say at the end of every one of my videos. The world is literally waiting for you to show up and say it. Your freedom to literally rise up and take your place and speak or sing or do the thing, send your message out into the world, could literally mean life or death for another person. And I do not mean to overstate that. I find that in what I'm doing every day, the emails that I'm getting every day, someone is giving me feedback that I never thought I would hear on this platform. Somebody is literally praying for you to show up today. What are you going to do about it? You've got to stand up to this lie that you have nothing to say, because it is just not true. Lie number 3, everything and everyone else must come first. Whether you're a busy parent or a high-level business executive, it's often easier to overschedule your life than to actually do the work that you know you're supposed to be doing on your voice. Oh snap, I said it. We often fill our lives, overschedule our lives with busyness that is good, overlooking the things that are actually the best. And the best is often the thing that you're actually called to do in the world today. Here's the truth. It's true that we often have seasons in our lives that we have to prioritize children. We have to prioritize our businesses. That's just a fact of life. But if you're watching this video, you may be a person who has been tempted to walk away from the true calling on your life by just hiding in your busyness instead. You know it's time to do things differently. And so it's time to ask yourself the brutal, honest question of why? Why have you gone to cramming your schedule full instead of actually living out your destiny, your dream? Why do you always put your voice on the back burner? It's time to prioritize yourself and bring your voice forward. Lie number 4, practice takes too much time. This one may get you if you're still having trouble valuing your voice. We prioritize what we value. And if you use excuses like you don't have time to practice, that really is an indication that your voice is just really not that important to you. Or maybe you're trying to find a place to practice where not a human soul can hear you. Maybe you feel really uncomfortable not knowing how to do this exactly, or maybe your voice feels a little wild and out of control. Maybe you're struggling with just being a beginner. It's just really hard for you to not know how to do this. So you shy away from the practice part of it. The truth is, daily use of your voice should be a priority, and it doesn't have to even take that much time out of your day. You know my love affair with lip trills, which I call buzzing. Those are easy to do. Do them in the shower. Do them in the car on the way to work or as you're going to soccer practice. Utilize the free resources in the description box below to help you get your voice back, to help you get a handle on what's happening in here. And you'll realize that you can make it a daily part of your schedule that does not infringe upon the other things that you're doing. Now, practicing in the car is not optimal. I will say that. If you have a way to stand up and be free physically to move around, that's great. But if that's all you've got is your alone time in the car to practice, then use it. Catch those moments to work on your voice whenever you can. Lie number 5, I will never get any better. Starting any endeavor from scratch can be a daunting thing, and you're going to hear your own voice inside your head a little differently than it comes out into the world. Here's the truth. You have to accept and allow where your voice is today in order to grow. Make personal growth the goal rather than vocal growth, because this takes time. Personal growth takes time too, but it's something that you might be able to see a little bit faster. Just getting your practice time in daily, that's growth. That's actually moving forward in what you're wanting to do. Push past how you think it sounds and vocalize anyway. What you'll find is if you can shut off your own negative opinion that you'll never get any better, your voice is actually going to get better. I don't know how it works, but it just works. It's part of that 80% mental part of this whole thing. You've got to start telling yourself, put more positive messages as you are in this process. Push past how you think it sounds and vocalize anyway. Your voice is going to reward you by getting stronger and stronger in the end. Well, that's it for me today. Like if you liked it, subscribe, and don't forget to share with somebody you know might be believing one or maybe all 5 of these lies about their voice. You can ask me any question about your voice in the comments down below, on my blog at voicelove.co, on Instagram at The Voice Love Company, and now on scaleabout.com. Get all those details in the description box below. Keep finding your voice and making your sound in the world today. Combat those 5 lies and the other ones that you're facing, because the world world is waiting for you to show up. And remember, you are loved. Bye-bye.